I noticed in the last video where I titled it First Drive, First Problem, I forgot to include the problem part, which was the radiator had a hole in it. So I got to watching the video, I was like, you know what, I left that part out. So anyway, the radiator had a hole in it. Took the radiator out, went to a radiator shop, they patched it. So I've got it to put back in, but while it's out, we are going to take the smog pump, which is still on, and all this stuff off. And I've made the decision, I guess, to take I want the engine bay to be cleaned up. And so I'm gonna take the AC compressor and condenser and all that stuff out too. So while we got the radiator out, plus I got the new power steering pump put on here. So we're gonna do all that before we put the radiator back in, while we got all this extra room. So let's do it. Well, here we are in the truck. It's not too clean in here. But we're gonna get this pump off, hopefully, bracketry, all that crap. And we can go from there. So taking the smog pump off, and there's a bolt. I don't know if you can see it or not. Anyway, you can't really see it, but it's behind the alternator. It goes into, I can't tell if it goes into the exhaust manifold or the bottom of the head, but anyway, it's got to come out. Only way I see to take it out is to take off this bottom bracket that holds the alternator on, and because it's literally right behind it. And then hopefully we can get that bolt out and get this stupid piece of crap off. All right, I ended up, was able to get a ratchet wrench, get behind there and get that bolt out without having to take the whole, I would have had to take the whole bracket off the alternator, this whole bracket, because it's all one piece. So I was able to stick the old ratchet wrench back there and get that out. And there's a stud down there. It's kind of hard to see that the bracketry was mounted onto for the pump, the smog pump. And it looks like it goes maybe, it's also got the plate for the timing mark, timing arrow indicator. So I'm going to tighten that back up, if you can see it. Anyway, it's right there. So I have to tighten that back up and keep that in place. And but there it is, she's out. So there's the bracket I was talking about. Right there, sorry. That stud sticking out is what the brackets for the smog pump was mounted on. But it's also got the indicator for the timing, which is something you want to keep. I guess while I'm under here, I'm gonna grease these kingpins while I'm down in the dirt. Let's see. They look like they've been greased recently, so we'll do that while we're down here. And then we'll see about taking the compressor off, and then we'll change out the power steering pump, put the radiator back in. Maybe we'll take it for a test drive. We'll see. So looking at this compressor, I just assumed it didn't have any refrigerant in it, and it did not. So it looks like some of this stuff that holds the power steering pump on is also holding the mount for the compressor. So I'm gonna have to take that off anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and take this pump off, because I'm gonna change it anyway. And I'll probably have to, if I take this bracket that the compressor is mounted to off, probably gonna have to find me a spacer to go between, because this from here to the head is the bracket for the compressor. So I'll probably have to find me a spacer to put right there. But I'll go ahead and drop the pump and and see what we can do about getting this compressor off of here. They didn't make it easy. Everything's behind everything. These bolts for this bracket here are behind the pulley for the water pump. And so we're just taking parts apart, taking bolts out, see how far we get. Well, the stacking line for the power steering don't want to come loose, so I've sprayed it with some penetrating oil. It's PB Blaster. We're gonna let it sit. I rounded it off a little bit, but it's not wanting to come loose. And the new pump already has this bigger fitting in there, so if I want to try to take that whole big fitting off, but it's got to spin on that line anyway, so that needs to come loose anyway. So decided to leave that on for now while I'm trying to take it loose so I can get some leverage on it. So I'll just leave the pump mounted for now. Stick this bolt back in, and I guess we'll work on the I'll go ahead and take them bolts loose on the bottom of the compressor, and maybe take the compressor off and just leave the mounting plate on there and take the plate off later. So let's see what we can do. So I'm kind of at an impasse here. That fitting still will not come loose. I've rounded it off a little bit, so I'm probably going to have to get vice grips and take it off. You think something had been coated with oil for the last, 45 years, 40 years would be easier to get off, but it's proving difficult. And then I got all but the last bolt for the compressor out, but I can't, I can reach my finger in there and get my finger on it, but I can't get a wrench on it in any kind of meaningful manner. So I may have to take the pump off. I may have to ruin that line and just get another line, assuming I can get it out of the other end of the power steering. So hopefully I get a pair of vice grips on it and get it broke loose. We'll see. So I might take a break and eat some lunch because it's already hotter than hell out here. I might just take a break and come back and work on it this evening some. We'll see how I feel after lunch. All right, I got the line finally off the hard line off of the power steering pump. I don't know why it was so hard. I put vice grips on it and it popped right off. Just barely popped it, but a wrench, it kept wanting to round it off. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that off. The bottom line just is on with a hose clamp, so I'll pull it off. It's just a return line. I'll pop it off when I get the thing out. And, I've got to take the pulley off of this one and put it on the other one. So and then hopefully I can get this off, get the condenser and stuff off, all this stuff, and see about this canister. I'm not familiar with it. I posted on Facebook and asked some people what it was for. It says a charcoal filter for the gas. I know this line goes back to the gas tank. This line goes up to the carb. Maybe a couple of them go to the carb, so I don't know about it for now. I don't really know, so I might leave that for now. But we'll get the rest of this stuff off here and go from there. So I was just able, and I mean just able, to get these bolts out in this bracket. I mean, if they were another freaking 1/16 of an inch long, I don't think I would have got them out. With the bracket and everything. There's the bracket. Bracket right there. Like, I mean, just enough. So there's that. Got that all cleaned up. We got everything out. I want to see what else we can clean up in here. Everything looks like crap. This looks like it's got a significant leak right here. Maybe valve cover. A lot of ground at that. A lot of grime right there. Buried down in there. Dirt, grime. Anyway, I might clean that up. Get this cleaned up. And then go from there. Gross. Alright, well, I got the power steering pump in here, and I went to Advance and I borrowed the puller. It's pretty simple. You can go on, there's videos about how to use it, and it worked pretty good. Pull it off. Cleaned up the bracket a little bit, and I'm going to mount the new one to the bracket and put the pulley back on. I'm not going to put it back on the truck today. It's probably going to be tomorrow. Today's Wednesday. Probably going to be tomorrow, Friday, before I'm ready to get the truck back up and going. So I want to do some cleaning. So I don't know if I'll put it back on today or tomorrow, because like I said, I want to do some cleaning in that gunk that was in the motor earlier. But you get this put on anyway. So I'm done for the day. I've got a bunch of stuff taken off. I got the condenser off, I got the compressor off, some lines, smog pump, some hoses associated with the smog pump. When I was taking the connections for the smog pump off of the head, I've seen some different connections on like the later Model 5.0s with the Mustang and stuff, where it goes in the back of the head. This connection does not go into the back of the head. It's got one on the passenger side that's on the front, and one on the driver's side that's on the back of the head. It's on the side but at the back, and on the side but at the front on the passenger side. So this is the one off the passenger side. As you can see, it's kind of like a banjo fitting. This goes in the head, sticks in the head like that, up inside a little groove. It's just like a little chamfer. You can see the little, and then this bolt, it's got a copper washer on it, goes in the back of it and threads inside the head. This hole in the head where this goes is not threaded, so you can't thread something in there to close the hole. So I posted this picture on several F100 groups on Facebook and said, look, I posted a picture of the hole where you can clearly see it's not threaded. And I posted a picture of this. I was like, it's like a banjo fitting. And I was like, what are you guys using to plug these holes with? Is there a kit? Is there something to plug this hole with? And I don't know if people don't look at the picture or don't read the comments. They just take like one keyword out of it. You know, they see hole plug needs to be hole needs to be plugged, and they're just like, ugh, use the threaded plugs. Like, almost all of them are like, just use the threaded plugs, and they're sending me links to these threaded plugs. And I'm going on there, I was like, this plug is not threaded. This won't work. It could be like a freeze plug if you had one the right size, but it can't be the threaded plugs that everybody and their brother keeps posting. And I'm like, I guess people are not giving me the benefit of the doubt that, hey, maybe I've already Googled that and looked at that and decided that wasn't an option, so that I'm showing you pictures of it, and I'm coming on these builders page and be like, hey, what are you guys using? Like, why? Anyway, what I'm gonna do is, right now the plan is, I don't want to like get like a big washer and try to cover that hole with this bolt and a big washer. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this up to work and have one of the welders at work. I'm gonna cut it off right here and just have them just weld this hole up, and then put this back on there. Where it was facing up like that, I'll face it like that, where this is, you know, where you can't really see it, and screw that back on there. I'll do that one for the front, and I'll do that one for the back. So I'm only working like half a day this week because I'm going to the beach, so I don't know if I'll get that done Friday. And even if I did, I'm leaving for the beach Saturday, so I probably won't get the truck back together and try to fire it back up, is what I'm getting at. So, I'm going to work on it again tomorrow and see if I can get power steering back on and some other stuff cleaned up. Anyway, that's my rant. I'll continue working on the f100. It's very aggravating, but anything worth doing it is, so it doesn't bother me that much sometimes. Anyway, thanks for listening to me rant, and keep watching.